Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week, I have Nona Invie. All I have to say is I'm very excited for everyone to hear the new album. It is brilliance personified. I'm not just making that up. I'm not just saying that. But if you like beautiful vocals, a nice slowcore sound with some crazy shit going on with other instruments throughout the music, then this new album, Self-Soothing, is right up your fucking alley. So first and foremost, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. That was an amazing introduction. Thank you.
So, I mean, let's get into it. The album, the art. Let's start there before we start peeling away the layers of your own self and music. So what brought this on, and once it's finished and now, basically out there. How do you feel it came out, and how are you like feeling about being completed with it?
I am so excited that it's out, that I can share it. I feel like it's been, I started really seriously working on it about 4 years ago. And so just the long process I feel like the suspense has actually been killing me. And I'm like really ready, really happy. But it's been, yeah, I've never, and I've made records with other projects before, I guess over the last 20 years almost. But this is the first time I've really spent this much time and allowed things, like given things the time and space that they needed to fully realize the song or the vision, the art, whatever it was. There was really no rush. And um, I just feel very satisfied, honestly, that there was no pressure to churn it out in any amount of time. It's just me, so I didn't have to negotiate with anybody, and that's great. Good
Yeah, I
for
mean,
me.
it's a weight lifted off your shoulders when everything's on your shoulders, right? Like it's sometimes you're okay putting enough pressure on yourself, right? We're all our own worst enemy, but when you know that you don't have to work on someone else's full schedule and you have your own time to create, it breeds a different vibrance into what your creation ultimately ends up being. And
Yes.
what self-soothing is, I mean, is it self-soothing for you? Maybe. For me, it's like it is. I don't want it to be rude, but it fucking tears me apart. Like it's just like I'm listening to it. I'm like, I'm in a glass case of emotion trying to punch out. I'm like, what is going on? But at the end of the day, I sit there and I know something's good when all of a sudden, like I'll hear a song. For me, it was "Love Is Like That," and like I get that movie drop tear, just one single tear coming out, and I'm just like, why am I feeling this way? I don't even know what's going on with them. Like it's not for me to feel that way, but it's kind of like yourself, maybe your catharsis brought in my own little self-soothing or knowing that I needed to maybe do something with my own emotions about something.
Well, I mean, if that's what's happening, that's amazing, and I'm grateful. I hope that other people can experience it like that too, because I do feel it does feel really selfish. It feels like this whole record it's really like something that I needed to do for myself, for my like mental health, for my personal like artistic journey, all of that. It just felt very extremely selfish. And I don't know, you create something that just like having the impulse to create, and then beyond that, it's like the impulse to share and kind of that like need to share. And so I really hope that other people can interpret it in a similar way, and that it's like unrelatable because it's so incredibly personal. So, yeah.
Well, do you think because maybe I mean, I don't like the term selfish, maybe.
I'm fine with selfish,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, go for it. It's fine.
Okay. Because
I've
I
come
mean,
to terms with that.
yeah, I mean, it is very personal too, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, what people, talk about this a lot here. Like, what people don't understand is like, yeah, you're doing this possibly for yourself, but what happens is once you let it go and you put it out for everyone else to take a hold of it and judge it and grab a hold of it and think it's their own. I mean, at that moment, would you say you still think it's selfish what you did because other people have now taken it from you and now it's theirs and it's their story and it belongs to them? So that's where I don't like the selfish thing, because may have done it for yourself, but at the end of the day, that's not what when someone finds something is going to pull from it.
It's true. Yeah. And I'm glad if that's happening. I think that it's just sort of like the initial part of it. There wasn't any goal beside, it was a very self-serving goal, I guess I'd say, like the creation of this record and just truly every song was something that I needed to work through and really helped me. And I hope that it can help other people, but I wasn't thinking about anybody else. So,
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, how's this going to sound on the radio? How's it going to come across? Like, are people going to dance to this? There was.
Well, I think that's the wrong way to create music too. I think that's where people screw up all the time. I think when they're doing it for something, and I guess like if you go down like the roster of people that we've had here, like the overwhelming arc of everyone's story is they were doing it just because they wanted to create something great and something beautiful, and they didn't care if anyone ever heard it. And the fact that someone did, that's just a plus. But they were creating something for themselves that they were enjoying and wanting to do, and that's it. And they weren't creating it so it sounds good somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what true art is.
Agreed. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we could get into that. I also think that there's like very artistic, beautiful, just pure pop dance records too.
Well, there are. I mean, yeah.
And I think it's fine. It's just it's a different thing. It doesn't mean that it's not art, but when you have the people in mind, how they're going to, the setting that people are going to listen to it and how they're going to move their bodies to it, whatever it is. I just think that that's something that I haven't had to take into consideration. And I feel a little spoiled about that too, actually.
So let's start peeling the layers back here in your life surrounded by music, and get into, the early years of your life. And did you grow up in a musical household, or was there music playing that as a kid you kind of started to attach yourself to at a young age, as a child? And don't get me wrong, theme songs for children's shows and stuff are great, but like, was there something that sort of popped for you as a small child that made you start to really enjoy music?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I grew up with single mom and one sister, and we sang all the time. Everything was singing, like in the car. At home, we had a piano and a guitar, and my mom we sang a lot of like church songs, I guess, and did harmonies. But we also I remember like we'd clean on the weekends and listen to Joni Mitchell and Carole King a lot. My mom loved Joni Mitchell and Carole King. And so we'd have like 5 minutes in a room or whatever the length of a song. We called it like tornado cleaning. And you just have to like clean as much as you could like during that song and like pump the radio up so loud so you could hear it in every room of the house. So that was really fun. Yeah. So definitely I was inspired at a young age by these 70s folk female singers and Joni Mitchell's piano and Carole King's piano too. Really, it was amazing being able to hear these songwriters who wrote on the piano and sang their own songs.
Yeah, I mean that from those types of artists like that, the storytelling. I think there's no better way to write a song than to tell a story and I think that's what connects more with a lot of people too. Yes, the dancey pop stuff, you just enjoy the melodies and what's going on. But when you can hear a story and at the end of it, you're still singing, but you're happy, and the story could be sad, but it was played in a happy key type of thing. Like that's the kind of stuff that, if you're growing up and having to, tornado clean through a house to that's pretty awesome. So
yeah, I had full fantasy of like, having my own apartment in Paris. Like, I didn't even know what Paris was. Like, really, I had no idea. But I was like, I'm going to have flowers on my piano. Yeah.
That's so from that point, like when did you start to find like maybe your own music that wasn't being shared by your mother or sister? What it could be shared by both of them, but sometimes you kind of find your own pocket and you find like your stylings even as a young kid. Like my exploration was crazy trying to find what I would like.
Yeah. I was into all music. I think I was thinking about my tape collection and CD collection back then. My aunt gave me an En Vogue Funky Divas tape and a Queen tape, and the other one was Boys to Men.
Nice.
And then I also was like super into Garth Brooks. So it kind of like ran the gamut of whatever was on the radio basically at the time. And then I would do this thing where I had like a cassette player on my radio. And so I would tape songs that I liked and just play them back and figure out what the lyrics were. Cause I'm 40, so we didn't have the internet when I was a little kid. I couldn't just look up the lyrics. So
I'm with
that
you.
was
I'm older than you, so trust me, I know.
yeah. So I spent like hours doing that. Like REM, I remember Losing My Religion, like really threw me. I could not figure out what the lyrics were, what they meant. I mean, I was like 8 years old or something, so yeah. Yeah, I think, and then I got into, I think when I was like an angsty teen, I got into like grunge. I was really into, like Hole and Babes in Toyland and L7, like female fronted kind of Riot Girl or just like grungy rock bands. And my mom really hated that. And I think that's what I started to set me apart. Because then I joined a band. I played bass in this band when we were in ninth grade, I guess. I was 14.
How did you find the bass?
I think, well, my friend had a guitar and then our other friend played the drums. And I had like known some chords on the guitar. So I worked at the state fair, the Minnesota State Fair one summer, and I just saved all my money and I bought a bass at the end of the summer from Guitar Center or something.
That's a unique, like, it's always like when I talk to people who started with a bass, it's like, what was the reasoning behind it? And the fact that you had a friend who played guitar and a friend who already played drums is, and my next question I need to know about that is, what was the name of that band?
It was called Tampered Posy.
Okay.
And yeah, it was pretty much like a rip-off Hole band. And we were teens, so we sang about what we knew back then. So it was, that was like my first taste of, I guess I had done piano recitals before that, but this was like standing up playing music, in front of a crowd in a little cafe or something. And
do you remember that feeling of that first time in front of that like crowd?
Yeah, definitely. I went to Hot Topic and I bought some like platform knee-high platform boots that were pleather. They were vegan. And I was wearing like a Dare t-shirt, that style. I really remember the outfit. I think I was nervous.
You didn't have any like socks on your forearms with the cut out, like, because now I'm picturing like the kind of look that you had when you were doing that.
The drummer definitely wore like a headband and wristbands.
Okay.
But me
sweat catchers, that's what us drummers do. We need to catch all the sweat.
Yeah. And then after that, I was in this indie rock band called It Was Just For You, That Light Show.
Those 12-word indie rock band names. Are so great.
And then I played guitar in that, and I guess it just started just like collaborating and writing with people, and that just carried on, past college and starting to find my peers in Minneapolis. And I guess I never really thought about it going back that far, like playing music with people going back to Tampered Posy days. So this is a nice memory I'm having.
That's what we're here for, so people can get that picture too of Tampered Posy in a cafe. Yeah. So, I mean, with doing that and finding that stuff and like finding the angsty female driven, the Babes in Toyland, L7, like, I grew up in the time where, I saw them live in the 90s. L7, Babes in Toyland, I saw it Lollapalooza. Like, I'm really aging myself, because if you look at when Babes in Toyland was on Lollapalooza, it was a very, very, very long time ago. But I mean, was it because at that time and growing up with a single mother and a sister, like, you were just drawn to the female persona to maybe say, hey, look at what they can do?
Definitely. I think I was in such a female centered world, and just these women who, they took so much shit from the media, from I guess what we had back then, what was like Rolling Stone,
Yeah.
and so it was so limited. I guess like MTV or something, but
Yeah. MTV News. Yeah.
yeah, they really had to advocate for themselves. They really put themselves out there, and they seemed fearless, and that was really incredible to me. These people who were just so confident and wrote these like really, I mean, I also just had a lot of like beyond angst. I feel like I had teenage rage. And so to be like screaming these songs was really cathartic back then too.
Yeah, and I always go back to that time too, and I always think it's like when we think about things and we start going back like we are now, but when you're a teenager, like, and the anger and coming up with songs and stuff, I go back to my time and trying to create music and everything, and it's always like angry or about love. Like there's nothing in between there. Like you're either writing love songs or you're just angry and angsty, and it's like, if I wish I could go back to that time, even all the shit that I had to deal with being, a punk and a skate rat and like being bullied in school and stuff. But I would still wish I could go back to that because it was so much easier. And I would just be like, listen, relax. It gets worse. So like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So enjoy this time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I think I was really into like Tool and like, is it Perfect Circle or A Perfect Circle?
Yeah,
A
perfect
Perfect
circle.
Circle.
Yeah.
And those kinds of like,
Billy Howard graduated from my high school.
ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Or
It
no.
was like
Yeah.
it was like I mean, it's not emo, but it is so emotional. Like
Oh yeah.
it really hits you at your core if you're like willing to listen. And those videos were incredible too.
Those are, I mean, on when Undertow came out, was in those videos for like prison sex and stuff, you're just like, what is going, like no one had seen anything like this before, like this live action, like you're just like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, that had a huge impact on me as a kid.
So from there, and I mean, you're playing shows at a cafe with Tampered Posies, but do you remember, like, what was your first like proper concert, like away from church or whatever? Like, what was your first proper concert? Like, maybe you got dragged to it by your mother or sister, but
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say we have First Ave here in Minneapolis, and we played my first like proper concert that I played was at First Ave. They had a battle of the underage underground, and when I was like 15 or 16, my band played that. So I got a taste really young too of like being on a big stage with proper sound equipment, which was amazing. But I'm trying to, like my mom went to a Heart concert when I was in the womb. And so
okay,
I feel like that was the first.
maybe that's the first one. You
Yeah.
got blessed by the Wilson sisters,
I
so
think
yeah.
so. I think so. And then the first concert
Well,
that
your voice can hold up. I'll say it's
well,
some of it.
no, I've tried to sing Heart at karaoke and it doesn't go well.
Yeah, I mean, Ann Wilson, I mean, her voice is just, it's undeniable.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. I I don't know. I like in my young ages, I can't really remember, but my Tampered Posey friend's dad would take us to concerts, and we went to it wasn't Lollapalooza, but it was like Summerfest or some other concert like that. That was Hole and Cake and Def Leppard and yeah.
Okay, I need to find the lineup of this festival because the three you just threw out do not go together whatsoever on a bill.
No, it was like for teens like us whose parents took them there,
Yeah.
It was, and I think I was 14 when we did that. So maybe I went to like Red Hot Chili Peppers before then. I don't know. That's like a, late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember anything, honestly.
How about, do you have a show that you attended that, sticks out in your mind and probably will forever?
Well, I saw Patti Smith I saw her in Minneapolis here like 10 years ago. And then I got to see her again just last year, 2 years ago at a festival in Santa Fe, or yeah, outside of Santa Fe, I guess. But her performance was really incredible. I feel like it changed me, and I just remember her because I think Trump. Well, I think maybe Trump had just been elected back, so maybe it wasn't quite 10 years ago. But she was like, "Would you defile your mother?" Like screaming, and she was like, "Well, Trump, you're 78, blah blah blah, but so the fuck am I?" And she was like screaming and smashing guitars on the stage, and I was just like, "Oh my
Oh,
goodness, okay."
Patti Smith rage. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
her. I want to say 5 years. What? Well, we're in 2025, so 4 years ago I saw her, and she was just. And I love when there's artists like Patti Smith who, they don't run the gamut of playing all the time, right? It's not like the Rolling Stones who you're going to see constantly on tour, Bruce
Mhm.
Springsteen constantly on tour. It's got to be an event, like, and it's got to be special, and that's when I make it a point to go see artists like that, because it's like, this is a special event. Like the Cure, I just saw the Cure last
Mm.
year or 2 years ago, and it's like they don't come around for, like, they don't play for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And so when you got to take this opportunity to now to see it, and like, so those are the only ones that, like, I'll pay a good amount of money to see,
Hmm.
but because you never know when it's the last time. But at the same time, every time you see someone like that, it's like you're seeing history in front of your eyes.
Definitely. Definitely. Yes.
Now, for you and your performing in life, do you have a performance of yours that stands out, for good or bad? I usually like to hear the bad, but for good or bad, always occupies this little space in your brain and pops up when you least expect it?
um, I think that, well, the first thing that came to mind is that there's one song that I always worried I would sing the wrong lyrics on. And then I did at a show that was like a decent sized show.
You
It was
brought it to fruition,
I
really.
definitely did. It was like it gave me anxiety every time, and then one time my mind just fully went blank and I like stopped singing in the middle of a song and had to sort of start over. It wasn't really a big deal. Like that kind of stuff doesn't actually matter, but it felt like it really mattered at the time. Like I felt like I had failed so hard, but it was fine. It actually I'm glad I got to say that out loud because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter at all.
Yeah, I mean, those are it's the 10,000 great comments to one bad comment that sits in
Yeah.
your brain. And then it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you
Yeah.
can get to that point where, like, this doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, and it can't matter because it's like anxiety, like it does build up. It builds upon itself, and like if I can't have that in my mind every time I play that song because it'll just keep happening.
mhm.
So and then what it takes the joy out of playing. So might as well. And even if it happens again, it won't matter again. And people don't care. They're like, "Oh yeah, that was a special show where she messed up the lyrics." Yeah. They're not mad. They're not demanding a refund or something.
No. Now, speaking of songs forgetting lyrics, like, as someone who, creates music, and you have since your Tampered Posies days, um, is there, like, do you remember the first song you ever wrote, and would you happen to have, like, the lyrics still somewhere in a book, and or what?
Oh, I went through a journal burning phase, and I'm sad about that now, but I think I needed to do it at the time, but I definitely burned everything I ever wrote.
Wow.
But I'm trying to think, like before when I was really young, we would write like spoofs or something of songs. We would like rewrite lyrics to
Weird Al
songs.
style.
Yeah, kind of, except for it was more like emotional because I remember one I can't really remember the lyrics, but it was for Lisa Loeb's Stay. And it was like with the one other friend I had who lived with a single mom, and we were like it was just like about our bad dads like abandoning us or whatever. Yeah, that's what I
Wow.
remember.
How about your first recording that you ever made? Do you still have that? Like, the first thing that you were ever a part of that was recorded?
Um, I think that band, It Was Just For You, that light show, we made a CD, which I don't have, but I did find one at a little thrift store a few years ago, which was really weird because we like only made 100 copies and we spray painted them. You know,
Yeah.
we like hand burned them and stuff. And I didn't buy it because I wanted to see if someone else would. So I don't have. I'm not very sentimental about that stuff.
No, I mean, you did a journal burning. So, I mean, how does that feel though? You walk into somewhere and the first thing you're a part of, there's that hit. Is it almost like, wow, that's really cool that it's here? Or, wow, someone really didn't want this when there was only 100 of them? Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, all the feelings of being like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Plus, like, why would someone give this away? Like, if they have it, they were probably friends with us. So
yeah. Sometimes I bust people's balls because like all the people that I know in bands and everything, I found my buddy's CD, lives in Texas, and I take a picture of it at this local record store and it's got 25 cents on it. And it was an indie release from the 90s. Like it's actually pretty hard to find, but it's like, I'm like, hey man, you made the bargain bin. How do you feel about that? Like, your very first band made the bargain bin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's something. It's not nothing.
No.
But
Those
all
types of,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, after that, like the first band that I was like the first serious band that I was in is called Dark Dark Dark, and that I do have all the recordings of that, and those are that kind of starts me taking myself seriously as a musician, and it's like a record that it's more like I'm proud of those records, even though like if they're dorky or whatever they are, I'm just like it felt more like me, I guess.
And now I'm not supposed to ask this question, but how old were you when like you did start to take that seriously?
Yeah, I don't care about I'm 40. I already said it. I have no qualms about my age. I don't get it. I'm just literally this old. I've been on this earth for 40 years. I think well, I honestly think I didn't really take myself that seriously until just a few years ago when I started playing keys in Angel Olsen's touring band and just like being on a similar level as like other bands that we were on tour with or like playing festivals with, and you know, just kind of seeing myself through other people's eyes a little bit, like, oh yeah, I'm the keyboard player. Like this, yeah, okay, yeah, that is what I'm traveling around the world playing the piano. That's like a profession, and apparently that has like value, you know. So
yeah, those are and I know it's hard sometimes when you're in the moment, but it's kind of like trying to explain to people that what you really don't understand is like not a lot of people get to do that. So like at the moment, sometimes even if things are going shitty on tour or whatever, it's like you got to take, sit back sometimes regardless and just be like, you know how many people actually get to do this? It's it's not a lot. Like, and so that kind of stuff is special. And those are the moments where it's like, wow, I get to do this. I don't have to do this. I get to do this.
No,
like,
totally.
so awesome. Yeah.
And to feel like with Angel, we played at the Sydney Opera House.
Oh, geez.
And I got to play the grand piano at the Sydney Opera House. And it was just something where I never even thought about that being an option in my life. I never even thought that I could dream that. And it was just a really incredible experience.
Those are the moments where like sometimes I've had some great moments, right? And that's when I'm like, yeah, the ship can go down right now and I'm good. Like that's where the pinnacle is right now in my life, and I'm fine with it, and it can all go away. I mean, I had a moment, about me. I had one of my favorite, possibly my favorite artist of all time came to perform at my small little venue record store. And when the night was over, I looked at my wife and go, I can throw gasoline on the floor right now and light a match. I'm good. Like that was it. Like that's my pinnacle. But it's like, then, and then a couple weeks go by and something new happens. You're like, wow, I can't believe it. But it's like, there's, it's learning when you're older to be able to take in the moments that, you know, a lot of people will never get to experience this. So
Well,
you have to
yeah.
love it and enjoy it for what it is.
And also to keep dreaming, to keep having ambition, and to keep like chasing desire. And I think that that's something as we get older, and it's like reality, you know, you have to take that seriously too, like paying your rent, taking care of animals, all of that. It's like, unfortunately, what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But just to be, you know, like when I was a kid and fantasizing about having my apartment in Paris, you know, I don't do that anymore. Like, honestly, I don't, because I'm like, I have a house that I like and I don't want to live in Paris.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there and I'm grateful to have been there, but I don't want to live there. But I like having, now I'm like, ooh, but maybe playing the piano at Radio City Music Hall or something. Like, maybe I could have a little dream about that and see where that gets me. Not that that's my dream right now, but
no,
you know.
but and it's also, you know, when you have those dreams, right? It's sometimes we have to control them. You know, I look at it. Okay, I'll say I'm 48, and last June I finally followed one of my biggest dreams of opening a record store and music venue. And it's a dream, but I said, you know what? I'm here today. I may not be here tomorrow, so we got to figure this out and make this happen. And like, it's just making the things happen along the way is like, that's what I try to explain to the younger kids who come in like, oh, I would love to I go, listen, I wanted this when I was 18 years old, but guess what? I couldn't, but you possibly could if you just work right, know what you need to do and have a goal and set it and follow it. I'm like, I finally broke down and was like, well, it ain't going to do it on its own. No one's going to gift me a record store and a music venue. So I got to make it happen on my own.
Yeah. It's like taking accountability, like taking that agency. I think that's really powerful too, to be like, I can do this and I will take the steps. Yeah. It's like being, I don't know, I've been thinking about this more and more too as we get older, and just really, how do I say this in like a not morbid way, but just continuing to live every day. You're like making the choice to do something new, to get out of bed, to like, not like succumb to the horror, like the new daily onslaught of horrors that are all around us. So it's like, you have to be like very assertive. It's like an action item every single day to be like, okay, I'm like choosing to be alive in this world. So what am I going to do?
I've explained, you know, sometimes to people that I try to help that are going through bad times, and that you need to understand that the hardest step you make is that first step out of bed every day. Like, because you have to decide to do that, right? Instead of wallow or just waste away. So knowing that you already got something extremely hard out of the way the minute you get out of bed, count that as that's a win already for today. Because that's, some people don't ever do that. You know, some people don't get out of bed. So getting that first foot on the floor and dragging that second one down, and this is, I hope I don't offend any one-legged people, but like getting started, you know what I mean? It's getting started. So starting is the hardest thing to do. So you start your day, consider that a goal, move on to the next one.
Yeah. And it's like, it sounds simple, but there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot going on out there. And I think that it's like becomes increasingly difficult to want to exit and like go do all the things that we have to do to keep our lives going and to like, you know, maintain community. And anyway, so I didn't mean to derail.
No, listen, that's what I told you, open, honest conversation about our personhood. So I love those kind of things. So now I'm going to ask a question that may or may not be hard for you. Some people find it pretty hard, but if you only have one chance to make a good first impression and you have to play one of the songs off your new album and you can only play one song, what song are you playing for someone?
I I honestly I feel like the first track, Forget My Name, is kind of that.
Came on a frozen time. You fell so hard. Came on a frozen time. Bound by scars. Love only can survive where we are. Love only can survive if you forget my reach for a warmer sun and found you there, humming a restless melody, an easy pair. Love only can survive anywhere. Love only can survive if you forget
Like I've been thinking about this record as me sort of introducing myself to people as a solo artist. I've played in different bands, like collaborated with people, but this is really the first time I'm presenting myself as a solo artist. And so choosing that song, which has piano, it has string patches, it has harmonies. Like these are the things that I do in a live setting too. So I feel like it kind of represents me and the record just right off the bat.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's like not too long, so you don't have to. It's not one of the super slow burn ones that you have to really sink into. It's like you get it right away. What's going on?
Now, would you say? I mean, kind of hinted at it, but would you say that's your favorite song off the new album, or that's the song that you would just play for?
That's the song that I would play. That I would be like, "This is me. This is the gist of this."
Okay. So, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song is that's harder because I've been I'm having a couple record release shows this week, and so I've been practicing a lot, and I'm there. I don't know. Maybe my favorite one is, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make it difficult. I'm just
that's I can tell you're actually trying to figure it out.
I'm like looking at the list of songs. I like them all for different reasons. I'm sorry.
Listen, it's fine. I don't have to force an answer out of you.
Okay, thank you.
Certain questions I will force an answer, but that one I won't.
Okay.
Pick your favorite child right now. Go. No, and I think it is really hard, and especially listening to the album, it's like I kind of, for me, I had two songs for me that's like, what would I play for somebody and what's my favorite? I always like to see if I'm ever even close to what you picked. And they are all very different, very much the same, which I think is, when you're listening to it, you can kind of pick up the tonality of the full thing that you created. But in the moment, if you take it song by song, they are completely different. But at the end, the sum of all parts is the same, which is what I love, because I love hearing one song and then the next song makes you feel something different, instead of, a pop punk album that'll sound like 1 through 12 is all the same and it's over in 23 minutes, like, so, and that's why I said like, Love Is, like, hearing that, and it brings me to that. You're from Minnesota, so you got the sound. I mean, it reminds me of one of my favorite bands of all time, Low, and it has that just, but then you get to An Island, another track that I absolutely love, An Island and Arc, and you get this crazy piano crescendo synthiness behind it too, where you're just like, what is happening right now? And that's the kind of stuff that I love. So, I picked my favorites, one I would show people and the one that I love it. But the fact that you didn't and you're the artist, that's fine. I'll just let people know you were a little difficult for a little while.
Sorry.
No. Now, in your life with music, do you like have a constant artist or band that like you turn to that never let you down? Like maybe, you can classify it as a favorite band, but I like to classify things as like, it's the band that I always listen to that never lets me down and is always there when I need it.
I listen to like Kate Bush, The Sensual World. That record will always be, well, it's like, yeah, maybe top 5 favorite records. I feel like anytime, or the Roaches. Yeah, definitely.
So you just said top 5. Do you have your top 5? Like, because that's crazy. Because I have a top 343, but and then I just stopped there because then it's too much.
Yeah, I mean, I've never sat down to do this, but I'd say like, so maybe not my top 5 favorite records of all time, but like the top 5 records that I go back to again and again to listen to, like in the car. Like I listen to music a lot when I'm driving or when I'm walking my dogs. So The Sensual World by Kate Bush, The Roaches. I think it's just a self-titled record. I'll listen to Sade.
Who's had a crazy awesome bit of revival.
Yes, right. So happy for that. I needed some new music from her. And well, those are the top 3. That's a pretty good top 3. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, no, that is strong. I mean, and you mentioned driving. So here, let's see if we can go back in that memory bank of yours. Do you remember what you were listening to when you got your driver's license and went to pick up your first friend?
Oh, okay. Well, this is like, see, I had a car with a tape player,
Uh-huh.
so I definitely would have been listening to Funky Divas, and Vogue, and I had that Night at the Opera tape, and I had a David Bowie tape. No, I can't remember what tape it was. Those are the 3 tapes that my aunt. I bought the car from my aunt, and she left those in the car for me.
Wow.
So, that's probably mostly what I was listening
See,
to.
I love the trip down memory lane in the car. That's
Yeah, like a little red Mazda. I don't know if it was like a Mazda Miata. What's a Miata? I
the
don't know.
Miata's the 2-door one.
Oh,
Like
it had
the
4 doors.
okay,
Yeah.
the Miata looked like that. It was a little tiny, really horrible looking. Like it was supposed to be a sports car, but it
Yeah, no, it
wasn't.
wasn't
Yeah.
that. This was like
Okay.
a red little thing.
Okay.
Little year 1999, 2000 thing.
Now, emotional wise, do you remember the last song that you cried to?
I feel like I don't know off the top of my head. I cry a lot. I honestly cry almost every single day. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I get really emotional in movies,
Okay.
like watching movies and TV shows when there's music. So I feel like I've definitely recently cried to a song that was on, like, in a movie, but I don't know.
You're watching Terrifier 3 and a song comes on and you cry.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm one of those criers. I'll be crying at, like, especially if there's like a dog that's like injured.
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
like,
Yeah.
I'm a crier.
Yeah, no, that is not anything happened. Like I have to skip through the first 7 minutes of John Wick. Like I cannot.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
like Marley and Me never saw it because I heard
No.
yeah, I was like never watching that. Like,
No.
and if you watch that, you're ridiculous. Like forget it.
I will never. I'm like, if we're in conflict or if I'm sad about like an interpersonal relationship, I won't cry. Like I'm not gonna be like crying instead of talking to someone, but I will just like be crying during commercials. Like I'm
Yeah, I can't watch, Stream Makeover Home Edition. I can't watch that. Like,
no, Queer Eye. I will cry every episode of Queer Eye. I'm just crying. And just, people are just out there really putting themselves out there trying to be better.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you're a crier. So, let's see. And the music that we've named, I mean, listening to your tape collection, this question probably doesn't even need to be asked, but do you have like a guilty pleasure, something that you listen to a lot that people would be extremely surprised that you just love it so much?
Well, I hope it wouldn't be that big of a surprise, but I love Chapel Roan and like Olivia Rodrigo. I love
you and 98 million other people.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I love to I think that their songs are really great. And I also love to kind of keep somewhat in touch with because I teach piano lessons. So I like interact with kids and teens a lot. And I don't want to be like so out of touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to me.
Yeah, and being out of touch, I mean, figuring an older gentleman like myself, like I said, that just decided to open a record store. I never thought I'd be like, hey, what are the kids listening to these days? Where I have to figure it out. Do you have this? I'm like, I've heard of so much music, but I've never heard that. Oh, you should listen to it. And then I'll listen to it. I'll be like, yeah, I like it. Yeah, sorry, they only make it in Australia. How did besides Spotify, how did you find it? Like, but
yeah.
It's that old curmudgeon guy. Like, what are the kids listening to these days? Is really, I catch myself sometimes. Hey, what do you listen to these days, young lady?
Yeah, it's really. Someone told me about that band. Or there's like been some challenging bands, like 100 Gex. Do you know about them?
I don't.
There's like, it's really interesting, and I feel like listening to it from kind of a anthropological perspective or something more than like enjoying the music, but being like, okay, this is what people are doing. Like, wow, all right, interesting.
Yeah, good on you. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Keep it going. Like, keep creating, you know, dude. It's great.
It's my motto. Keep creating and I'll keep listening. So I
Yeah.
always need something to have there to listen to.
That's like no shade at all on 100 gigs. I hope that that's like seriously no shade. It's
Yeah, no,
great.
I just wrote it down, so I'm going to listen to it when we're done here today.
It's good to challenge our, you know, especially coming from like a folky kind of, you know, like especially like female, like pretty world, whatever. Like that's the kind of music that I will naturally enjoy. And then so to be challenged by some like electronic, dissonant, like, you know, modulated voices stuff, it's good for me. It's really good for me.
Nice. So you're finding out new things. You can always learn something new.
Yeah.
All right. 5 minutes left to live. Meteors hurling into the earth.
Oh my God.
You have to listen to one song and one song only. What is it?
Oh my God. Well, actually the first thing that came to mind when you said it was the Sade's, what's it called? By Your Side. Do you know that one's like,
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess that's it.
It's a good one.
That's what came to mind.
Listen, very quick. I like it. Some people stammer and I'm like, at some point you just got to tell me the first song that came to your head, because that's usually, you don't have that unless you're like me, who's a preparer of everything, that it's already like in a folder queued up, last song.
You like carry your emergency apocalypse iPod with you everywhere.
Yep. Just got to make sure it's charged. But at that time, as long as I can find a solar charger, because it'll be very bright out.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, this may be hard, because if it's one object, it's going to be really hard to do. But if your house, again, people, we've been saying this, and at some point I'm going to stop saying it, that I know everything that happened with the wildfires, we're fine. We're past that. It's devastation. So there's no ill will with the question. But if your house is on fire, all the living things have got out, everyone is okay, but you are running back in to grab one piece of music memorabilia or musical entity in your home, what's that one thing you're grabbing, running back in for, and taking out?
Like, can I grab my entire tape collection or no?
Well, I mean, if it's ready to go, but you have the time to run in and grab one thing. So if you have like the old leather cases that held the tapes when they were in your car, yeah, you can grab that thing.
Okay. Well, they're on display right now, so it would take more than a second, I guess.
Okay.
But
well, if you rip the display off the wall and
okay. There's like, because there's some mixtapes and there's songs that aren't on, like I can't find them in any kind of digital form, and those mean a lot to me. Some bands, like local bands, punk bands from 20 years ago, that I don't think their music is digitized or anything. So yeah, because I feel like my instruments, hopefully I could find again. Yeah.
Okay. No, I like that. It's the first time it's been like something like that. Someone had a record, people have had their guitars or their bass or their keyboard, but I think you're the first cassette tape person.
I love cassettes. It's my favorite way to listen to music. I love the object.
Mm-hmm.
I love the art. I love turning the thing over. I love how it sounds. It's like crackly, and it's like not like a pure form of the music at all. It's great.
Yeah, I tried to explain it to someone once that a cassette tape, the sound coming off a cassette tape, it's supposed to be in stereo, but it always plays mono. That's, and like that is, I'm like, other than that, I really can't, like, that's exactly the description, the only description I can come up for it. So, and if you buy more than 5 cassette tapes at Hidden Tracks Records All, I'm going to start handing out number 2 pencils. And for those of you that don't know what to do with it with your cassette tapes, have someone show you.
I love that. Yeah, I had a tape when I like transitioned. Well, I guess it was still kind of in the angsty teen period, but I had this endless tape. Did you ever have one of those? Or do you know? You couldn't rewind it. You could only play forward, but it would keep playing forever. And I still have it. It's like a loop of Brian Eno, And I can't remember now what else. Maybe it's just Brian Eno that's played endlessly, but I would like I lived in the attic at my house. My room is in the attic, and there wasn't heat up there.
Most attics don't have that.
And so I had an electric blanket, and I would like go under my blanket, and I felt like I kind of had this, what now I understand it as kind of a meditation, but then I didn't. But I would be like, I'm going back into the womb to like a warm, safe space. And I would listen to that Brian Eno Endless tape a lot when I was a kid.
Wow. I love that. So I did have a cassette tape that I would listen to, especially when I was falling asleep when I was a kid. And it's really weird what it was, but it was a cassette tape of Abbott and Costello, like their radio show, like that used to play on the radio. And it was something that just, as a kid, it helped me fall asleep. Like it, and it's so weird. Like I think back to that, and like when you just said that, I don't think I've ever really mentioned that before here in 250 episodes. But like you just mentioned laying in the room and having that endless, and all of a sudden it popped up. I pictured the white cassette with the yellow label on it, and it was Abbott and Costello, and I would put it in every night when I would go to bed. And it was like these old radio shows of Abbott and Costello. So,
love that.
Well, thanks for clicking my memory, and that was really cool.
Yeah. Anytime.
Well, I don't want to keep you here much longer, so we're going to run into our final segment here in a minute. But first and foremost, again, an amazing job on the album. I wish you nothing but success. I think you're going to see some great things happening because you created a masterpiece, and I don't say that often here. You created a masterpiece. I'm absolutely in love with it. You should be very proud of it. And thank you so much just for creating it. And I know you called it selfish earlier, but by you creating it, it brought us together, two people from two different places in the country, two different worlds, and to have a really nice conversation. So like, if nothing at all comes of it, like that's, just know that this was that small step, right? And that first step out of bed. So, I just want to commend you and say thank you so much for creating it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So our final segment is our weekly threes. You're probably going to have to pull something up, but it is 3 things you're listening to right now that you would like to share with people. You give your 3, then I give my 3 for the week.
Okay, for the week. Okay, yeah, let me look at can I look at my
Yeah, no, you can. No, this is a blind taste test. Coke or Pepsi? What is it?
Okay, wait. What have I really been listening to? Sometimes I listen to stuff that I don't want to share. It's just for me.
Okay, I get it. It's that old indie phase of loving a band and hoping no one else finds out.
Well, it's not that. It's more just like,
personal?
some things, yes.
Yeah.
No, some things you just got to keep private.
Okay.
I hope that other people find it and enjoy it too. But I love Enya, Day Without Rain. I listen to that record a lot. Beautiful record. Wait, is it supposed to be new music? Sorry.
No, it can be what you're listening. Yeah, what you're listening to.
Okay. A Day Without Rain, Enya, incredible. What else do I want to say? I've been listening to Kim Jung-mi. Do you know that person, that artist? There's a song called The Sun that is really beautiful.
And me is M-I or M-I?
M-I, yeah. That has this kind of like children's choir at the end, and I could like listen to this song on repeat forever. And the whole record is really great, but that song is beautiful.
Children's choir did you ever hear William Fitzsimmons' record he did with I think it was Long Island Children's Choir?
Was it the
I forget what it was, but I think he did it with the children's choir, and it was just like, I was like,
was it like David Bowie songs and was it like a 70s kids choir?
I don't remember, and now I'm throwing out music, and I should.
Langley School's Music Project. That's it. Maybe not. I don't know who the choir, like who the adult was, but there was a thing. I think it was also in the 70s called Langley School Music Project, and it is incredible. There is this like, it's like in a gym. It's all echoey. The kids sound like a whole group of kids in a gym would sound amazing. And then they're singing like all these classic hits of the time, and then they go to Desperado. And this girl, like I imagine she's like an 8-year-old girl, just like sings Desperado, like sings her heart out, just like so clear, like plain and clear. And it's just actually one of the most beautiful songs.
With the most confidence in the world that, you know, at that young age they should never have, but they just...
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love that. Okay, that can be my third one. Everyone should go. We should listen to that right now. It's, if you haven't heard it, it's amazing.
All right, you're gonna fall on that sword there for your last one instead of looking up?
Yeah, let's do it. That's yeah.
Even though you weren't listening to it, but that's fine. I got it.
Well, I do. Yeah, it's true. I haven't. Okay. I'll take it seriously. I'll tell you something that I actually have been listening to these days. Well, you know what I really love is the Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris, the trio record that they made.
Yep.
And because I'm at my one of my little release shows, I have 3 people singing with me, and we're gonna sing Telling Me Lies. And I love all 3 of them, but especially Linda Ronstadt. She's kind of like the primary vocalist on the song, and she's, you know, I just love her. So.
Nice. I love that. I love that you just got to that. I love that I forced it out of you. All right. So my 3 for this week. The first one is a band called Fever Child. They have an album called Altering a Memory. They're a Belgian, I guess, indie emo-ish band. Really good, but yeah, Belgian band, really good. Fever Child. Number 2 is a band called Luna Vista. The album's called Somerset. They're from Portland, Oregon, and they're just a righteous indie band. Like, just great style and sound of what you would picture someone creating in a backyard in Portland, Oregon. And last but not least, Maya Folick. The album's called Felicity. She's an indie folk artist from LA. Yeah.
I know this one. She's awesome. I love, it's Mia, actually.
Mia, sorry.
Yeah.
Mia.
Just because I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, correct me. That's fine. I'm totally, it's all about names. It's the hardest thing nowadays. That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to fuck it up, because I always will. And I'm one to talk because everyone calls me fucking Sean and my name's Shane, but
so
whatever.
Yeah. I think that, I used to get, people would call me Nora and Mona and all kinds of things. And I think I used to get mad, but it's fine.
Whatever. If I know you're talking to me at that moment, it is what it is. But yeah, so those were our weekly 3s, everyone. And Nona, thank you again so much for being here. Good luck on the tour. I know you're going to be overseas, so safe travels.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best with the release of the album. And I'm going to be spreading, now that it is, it's almost at that time when it's out, but I will be playing it often in the store. So I hope to get you some new fans that way as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But everybody, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Nona Invie, and have a great fucking time.
Lay all the blame aside. I'll be there for you. Lay all the pain you hide, still I'll be there for you. Gave me a
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.